Okay, so let's just get right into it. Artificial intelligence is changing, well, pretty much everything. And it's forcing all of us to ask this massive, fundamental question. What is education even for anymore?
I mean, you see these powerful new AI tools popping up every day, right? And it's totally natural to start wondering, hey, is this degree I worked so hard for, is it going to be devalued? Is it still going to matter in a few years? But here's a really interesting take. The thinking is that AI isn't actually the problem itself. Not really. It's more like a catalyst, or maybe a giant spotlight that's suddenly shining on all these cracks that were already there in our educational system. All right, so let's dig into that idea. AI as this great unmasking. What exactly is it showing us about the way we've been doing things, about what we've decided to value in education? For most of us, the path felt super straightforward, didn't it? It was like this unwritten deal we all had with society. You go to school, you get that piece of paper, the degree, and that paper gets you a decent job. Simple. And that really gets to the heart of what's become the main model for education. For the past century, its primary purpose has really been to get us ready for the workforce. So this breaks down into two totally different ways of looking at things. On one side, you've got education for the workforce, basically getting you ready for a specific job. Success is measured by employment, by money. But on the other side, there's education for life. This is about creating active citizens, focusing on critical thinking, personal growth, where success means living a full, flourishing life. It's a huge difference. Way back, the philosopher Alfred North Whitehead had a pretty stark warning about focusing only on job training. He said it leads to something he called inert ideas. And that's a brilliant phrase. It's basically knowledge that you just absorb into your brain, but you never actually use it or test it or connect it to anything new. And here's the kicker. He argued that this kind of education, packed with these inert ideas, isn't just useless. He said it's actually harmful. Think about that for a second. Memorizing stuff just to pass an exam without ever really applying it, that can actually hurt your ability to think for yourself. And you see this play out in the real world too. I mean, look at this. When you survey people about what makes a job low stress and satisfying, the answers often don't line up at all with the high-powered, high-paying careers we're all pushed towards. So, if the best jobs aren't necessarily making us happy, what on earth are we educating people for? Okay, so if that whole job training model is starting to crumble, where do we look for an alternative? Well, sometimes to move forward, you gotta look back. And the ancient Greeks, they had some really powerful ideas about this. Let's talk about a concept from Aristotle called eudaimonia. Now, the easy translation is happiness, but that doesn't really do it justice. It's not about feeling happy for a moment. It's way deeper. It's about human flourishing, about living a meaningful, virtuous life where you're really becoming your best self. It's an active process. And you see this in Plato's famous allegory of the cave too. For him, education wasn't about cramming facts into your head. It was about liberation. It's this journey from the darkness of just accepting things as they seem into the light of true understanding. Fast forward a few centuries, and you get a similar idea from the German tradition of building. Again, it's not just about what you know. It's this whole process of self-cultivation, shaping your character, growing as a person, and blending what you learn with your own ethical development. So, you see the pattern here, right? In all these philosophies, education isn't just a means to an end, like getting a job. It's seen as the art of becoming a fully realized human being. The journey is the destination. And hey, this isn't just some ancient European thing. Let's look at some really cool, powerful ideas for what a good life can be from other parts of the world. For example, in South America, there's a concept from indigenous cultures called buen vivir, which means good living. And this idea flips our modern script. Instead of focusing on individual wealth and endless growth, it prioritizes community, living in balance with nature, and harmony. And its principles are a direct challenge to the way many of us live. Things like respecting the earth, only consuming what's necessary, so the opposite of consumerism, promoting diversity, and living in a way that doesn't harm others. It really makes you think. And there's a modern theory that builds on this called the capabilities approach. The core idea is that the goal of a society and of education should be to expand people's real freedoms. It's not just about teaching them skills for a job. It's about giving them the actual, genuine choice to live a life that they have reason to value. Okay, so we've talked about ancient Greeks, German philosophy, South American wisdom. What does any of this have to do with AI? Well, as it turns out, everything.
This is where it all clicks into place. Think about what AI is good at: tasks, skills, competence. It can do those things incredibly well. But what have all these philosophies we've been talking about been focused on? Things AI can't easily replicate: practical wisdom, deep ethical thinking, empathy, imagination, self-reflection, the stuff that makes us human.
So here's the bottom line. As machines get better and better at handling the competent side of things, our focus has to shift. We have to cultivate wisdom. Our education can no longer just be about what we can do, it has to be about who we can become. And that leaves us with a pretty profound question to chew on. If machines can do the work, then what is the work of being human?